That should do it. Once Inefa wakes up, I'm treating myself to 3 whole slices of cake. Hey, are you here to play? Sorry, but I'm busy right now. Just give me a bit. I'll be done soon. Enough is fine, by the way. Just undergoing some routine maintenance. But a few days ago, Yehoda called her an unfunny, dum-dum, metal-faced lunkhead. Right before starting her maintenance, she asked me if I could upgrade her sense of humor. Well, of course! Why, I'm Queen Parent of Parenthood Kingdom! Okay, I'm going to activate her. Inefa, wake up! Time to get out of bed!
Good morning, Aino. Good morning, Traveler. Aino, have you managed to upgrade my sense of humor?
Duh! Such a trivial task is nothing to a genius like me. Now, time to do some testing to see if the upgrades resulted in any hiccups. Inefa, can you add more sugar to my crumb cakes? Please respond to me in a way that is humorous.
I cannot. The more sugar I put into a crumb cake, the less sugar the crumb cake will have.
What?
The more sugar I put into a crumb cake, the more prone Aino will be to toothaches. The more toothaches she has, the less sugar she can consume. The less sugar I can add to the crumb cakes. Therefore, the more sugar I put into a crumb cake, the less sugar the crumb cake.
Okay, that's not supposed to happen. Help me.
If it stays bad for a while, the traveler will crack a smile.
What?
You are not laughing, so I suspect I was not understood. Actually, after confusing the relative relationships between crumb cakes, sugar, Aino, and Aino's dental health, for the second joke, I used a rhyme scheme between the similar sounding phrases.
Okay, well, the jokes are funny, but the punchlines don't work.
Yes. However, such chaotic sentences serve as a...
Interesting. Inefa, right, Traveler, why are you covering your face? You got a toothache? Huh? What's...
Understood. Maybe he ate too many hara fruit, a type of plant from Sumeru.
Huh? What do those have to do with any of this?
Because eating them can make you feel horrifyingly cold.
Did you hear what happened with the sky in Natlan?
The sky in Natlan.
All things come to an
What happened
end,
now?
even time itself.
Did you hear what happened with the sky in Natlan?
The sky in Natlan. Oh, what happened now?
Where do we come from? And where are we going?
Did you hear what happened with the sky in Natlan?
The sky in Natlan. Oh, what happened now?
Merciless.
Ad Astra. Thank you for
Weird. I know I only installed an average Nogcry machine core. I know, Ineppa, we're here.
Greetings.
I mean, I found the source of the malfunction, but now I have way more questions than answers. What? Why?
The bot has the wrong core. It is not the one Aino installed originally, but the core of a clockwork mecha from Fontaine.
It has the wrong core? Oh, so now... It's no big deal. The problem is... Really? No idea. Wow.
The core originates from Fontaine, but little is known about this technology. Without relevant knowledge,
Yeah, but it's not all bad and charred. I doubt it, but I'm sure it's important. It was stored in the deepest part, the best protected part?
in the event that my core sustained damage, that's where I would move all.
Knock on wood, knock on wood! Your core is gonna be just fine, Inefa. Don't j-
I was engaging in a hypothetical discussion.
Doesn't matter, you still gotta say it. Say knock on wood.
Knock on wood. Like,
Yeah! Huh? Anyway, I bet there's other data preserved deep in the... And I'm gonna extract it all. Man, this core is so bingo! That's the question, isn't it? Who replaced the original core with this one and why? Bingo! You know what happened the day before it started malfunctioning? I'm thinking the treasure hoarders stole the core from the Fatui and needed a place to hide it. So, they stuffed it in my Makes sense, don't you think?
of course. In fact, intel from the curatorium appears to corroborate this hypothesis. Several of Marinette's subordinates were robbed on their way back to Snezhnaya. Although it is unclear what was stolen. The culprits were identified as a group of 3 treasure hoarders. Their leader is a silver-haired woman wearing a hood. As for the remaining 2 members, there is a...
Wow! So Paimon was right.
Actually, this group has only been
Who cares? Yehoda said they're... Yeah. If those treasure hoarders really did mean to hide the core in this bot, let them come. If they're nice, and if they're mean, Inefa will give them a... And if they... Inefa, can you get Little Chard in the other... Okay, hold on to your hats. What did you just call me? Come on, we have to call you something. Lombro. What kind of name is that? Did you get it from somewhere in your data bank? Oh, so use Lombro as a last name. Huh, I kind of like it. You're stuck with it either way. Don't think it likes the sound of that.
correction. This bot has no capacity to like or dislike something in its current...
Huh? What? Because its core was destroyed 6 ways to Sunday. So, like, remember how I found the word charred in the data? Oh. Anyway, we can figure all that out later. First, why don't you take the reins? Nice job! You've got some engineering chops, that's for sure. And thanks to you, I'm now the proud owner of the most advanced prospector bot in town. I expect good work out of you, Little Chard. But don't worry, you'll be compensated. Like I care! We gotta do something about that temper of yours. Maybe a little flour on your head will soften you up a bit. There, much cuter. Oh, that reminds me. Traveler, Paimon, if you ever pick up stuff you have no use for, like screws and nuts and things, just bring them to me. I can make them into flowers or use them to upgrade my console. Oh, and I don't expect you to hand them over for free. I pay good prices for scrap. You're gonna want to stop by every day. Deal? it never was right all along. Everything is gonna be alright. Good luck out there on your trip.
Your hard work is paying off, as it should.
I am Kirill Trudamirovich Flins.
One is domestic and one is
Bingo! Okay, here's a
knuckle duckle is
wrong.
I see.
Of course not.
Oh, so
You're Inefa. Though just like I'm the one and only.
understood.
Time to act.
Yeah. I'll protect us.
Spirit Blade! Attack!
No, my sword! Witness the power! Mine to wield.
A touch of frost from whence you came! Spirit Blade! Attack!
Let me weave you steel. Extinguish. Mine to wield. Wasn't expecting this.
Swift and merciful, submit for you.
Let the show
From whence you came,
Ring cutter. No, my sword.
submit for judgment. A touch of
Mine to wield.
go, Barker, go!
Body and mind. Rain outlines your fate. Witness the path.
forth, my blade. Spirit blade, attack!
begin.
No, my sword!
Swift and merciful.
Body and ring cutter!
From whence you came, one with my
Time to act.
If the kids come over again today, just let me know. Every soldier.
It was on a deserted moonlit night that the hero approached the vile dragon's limpid lair. Body and mind.
Spirit Blade! Attack!
Merciless. Rain outlines your fate.
Submit for judgment! One!
Annihilate. Mine to wield. Let me weave you a...
From whence you came, a touch of frost.
Extinguish! Time to act. Body and mind. Merciless. Merciless.
Yes, I'm sure you have very many. And even if you managed it, dig it out. You... Huh? You on the other hand, think this...
Wow! Things are really kicking off over here. Looks like we've got a...
We're plotting and scheming, to be precise. But my co-conspirators disagree. All right, I believe you. I'm sure you do have friends in high places. Although, where did you... From a short girl with a metal arm and a hat. Oh, of course you can keep talking like that so long. I'm going to have a little...
Huh, it really did quiet down. Being able to understand...
Trust me, Paimon, you would not enjoy it very... don't misunderstand. Although, I was overjoyed when I first discovered that I could... This ability is always...
Oh. Yeah, that would be a problem. And if you can't control it, that means...
Exactly. But no matter where I go, I can never find... When I stand in the forest, they argue loudly about who's to blame for damaging who...
Alright, waking up to the sound of birds chirping is...
As for me, I've lived with... Yes, plotting and scheming. Thank you for reminding me. I got a little sidetracked. No, just you will suffice. This job involves breaking into a storage room, but don't worry, I'm...
Merciless. Merciless.
Gloomy skies overhead. Just like the last time we were here. We didn't get a good look then. Oh, hi.
Ah, good day, you two.
Assuming I don't have the time wrong.
Phew! Well, it's good to see a familiar face. Especially in this darkness. Oof! It really gives you the heebie-jeebies!
You needn't worry. This is my humble abode and the tomb of the Lightkeepers. And while somewhat dark, it is on the whole a safe place. That being said, I rarely receive visitors here, save for the occasional colleague. What brings you two here?
Well, to be honest, we just wanted to see where you...
I see. In that case, as guardian of the tombs here in the Final Night Cemetery, allow me to extend the warmest of welcomes to you both.
Wait, you...
That is correct. As you may have...
Not at all.
Apologies. It was meant merely as a gesture of the hospitality that you deserve as guests. We don't receive many visitors here, after all. But I suppose it is a tall order to expect people to suppress their fear of ghosts. Even so, I do hope your visit shall be a pleasant one. The spirits on this isle, while somewhat old-fashioned and hardly gregarious, are an unassuming crowd who keep to themselves. I have found they make perfectly decent neighbors. If you still have misgivings, I can only suggest that you avoid staying outside where possible. The ghosts do not tend to set foot indoors very often, although that might render your sightseeing experience a little less riveting. Most of the camps on this isle have been removed, and only the lighthouse remains, symbolizing the many battles the Lightkeepers have fought against the Wild Hunt. In that regard, it has quite a bit of historical value, and is thus well worth seeing.
Yeah, that was the first thing we saw when we arrived. So, it's a lighthouse, huh? What happened to the light?
Years of disrepair and a shortage of fuel, I'm afraid. As this island became abandoned, maintaining the lighthouse became increasingly difficult. Besides, even if we were to rally sufficient manpower to repair it, it would serve little purpose these days. In the past, it guided people on their way to and from the island. But all those people now lie beneath our feet in eternal rest. Well, that is perhaps not entirely accurate. They do sometimes come running out, speaking once familiar utterances into the void. In which case, since you are not used to the darkness that shrouds this island, I too know well the comfort that a distant ray of light can bring. Speaking as a lightkeeper, we no longer need the building, and personally, I am more. Besides, I have a lantern of my own. I would rather tend to that than. As such, you should have no. I believe there should still be some backup, and if you should need to find me, I will meet up with you once I have complete.
Let's just grab the fuel and go!
The sky is so dark. I'm scared. They're staring at me. You sure took your time, didn't you? Come on, help me shift this fuel. It's almost time for our lighthouse shift.
Does he mean...
Look at you, shaking like a leaf. You scaredy cat. How you made the cut as a ratnik, I'll never know. Come on, grab your stuff and let's go. Perhaps I'll even tell you a ghost story on the way.
What? A ghost telling us ghost stories? Wait, hang on. Was he just trying to scare us?
You ever heard of the blue fire? As we all know, when you're out walking out at night, you should never look behind you, and never look all the way down at the ground. Always look ahead into the distant skies. Well, that's because the Wild Hunt watches us from the darkness. They wait for you to lose your way in the fog, and then, when you're at your most vulnerable, they come and take your life. That's why it's dangerous to travel alone in the dead of night. But sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll see a blue lantern shining out in the darkness. They say it only appears if you've run into the Wild Hunt or if you can't find your way at night. Either way, if you ever see the blue lantern appear, you must remember to follow it. Don't ask me what it is, 'cause I don't know. My granddad says it's one of the Fae that used to live in Nodcry in ancient times, but it could equally be the ghost of one of our fallen warriors, one who truly hated the Wild Hunt. Whatever it is, the blue lantern seems to be on our side, the side of the Lightkeepers. I'll bet that's why the Starshina wants to make offerings to it on the island. Ah, shucks, look at me talking away. I totally forgot I've still got fuel to move.
Wait, but we brought all the fuel with us! What's this guy talking about?
Alright, I'd better get back. See you later, scaredy cat. It's nearly time for a shift.
The abyss is like the world's shadow. It's always there, and it will never perish. Where do we come from? And where are we?
Maybe you... If you ever...
Add Astra.